another one is a route table. So route table we will talk later. We'll see about the peering. So peering is kind of a networking features. So let's say sometimes it happens that I do have sometimes it happens that let's say you are having multiple virtual networks. Depending on your like a requirement, you have created one virtual network for some kind of reason, for other virtual network for some other resources. So let's say in my subscription, if I have a multiple virtual network like this, so this virtual network will have it is completely isolated from this virtual network, even though I'm deploying this virtual network within the same virtual network. This and this virtual network will not have any kind of connectivity between them. Let's say this virtual network is having a 10.10.0.0.0/16 network, and even I have some kind of, let's say this is a testing environment, this is a development environment. I have some kind of subnet here, and due to some requirement, if you have a requirement like that, okay, my this web application testing environment, a web server should be able to reach out or talk to the web server which are in the development VNet. So for that you can create virtual network peering between these two. So once you create a virtual network peering, both the virtual network resources will be able to talk to each other. So how you can create? Let's go to the Azure Virtual Network. On the left hand side, you just navigate to the peering section, and if I want to create a peering between Azure Virtual Network and front door, so what I need to do, I need to just go to here. What is the peering? So here I need to make sure that I'm giving a proper name, because you might have many peerings between you. Let's say you are having a more than 10 virtual networks and you are having a peering to each other. So you need to make sure that you are giving a proper name here. So I am giving that Azure VNet to Azure front door. Here are some options. Traffic. Let's say if you want to restrict any traffic over the peering, if you say that okay, this virtual network only should be able to access this, but this not, so this is the some kind of options which you can select. By default it is all allowed. If you select on the allow bidirectional communication will be allowed over the peering, and both the resources will be able to reach each other without any problem. So the first part here you are seeing, this is for Azure Virtual Network peering part, and the second part here is showing the remote virtual network. So once you fill all the information, it will create a peering between both of the side. You don't need to go on other side and you need to create a peering for them. So let's say here you need to select to which virtual network we want to create a peering. So I am selecting front door. Once you create, here you will say that it is going to create two different virtual network peering. So once it is established, let's say suppose if I have a virtual machines here, if I have another virtual machines here, they both will be able to talk to each other, but you need to make sure one thing, that your virtual network should have a unique IP prefix. So here I have a 10 series network, here I have 192.168. So if the both resources will be able to communicate without any problem. But let's say I have a 10 network here, I have a 10 network here, I will not be able to make a peering here. It will give some kind of error that okay, your network is getting conflict. So this is how peering works. I'll show you.
And so here actually I have second one question. If I have a different account and the share are same, so it is possible to the
connectivity. Correct. So let's say if you are
no, I'm not saying let's say 10.0.0 let's 16. It is the one account, let's say one production account, and second one is the let's say one company buy to another company, and it is like the same to same CRW like 10.0.0 plus 16. So it is possible. So it is a different account or
no. So if the account is different, that is not an issue. But if you have a same address range, that is an issue. So let's say you have a subscription 1 year for development. Let's say here you have a one subscription for development. This is a total different subscription. Let's say this is owned by Microsoft, this is owned by Google. Okay, and they want to make a communication or peering between these two VNet. So it is possible, but you need to make sure that your both virtual networks should have a unique IP address prefix.
Yeah, actually I have one question. Like you say VPC 1 have a 10.0.0.0 right, and second one is a 192, but one is a Google and another is Azure, right? So it can be possible 10 IP is a 1 and 10 IP is in Azure also. So
no, it is. Yeah, please go ahead. Sorry.
Like one VPC has the same IP 10.0.0.0/16, and second one is Azure, right? So it's have also same IP, right? IP range like 10.
No, see, what I mean to say that on the other company is Google, but they are using the Azure. If you want to make a peering between AWS VPC to Azure Virtual Network, it won't be possible. Okay, so let's say here is a company 1, here is a company B. They both are using the Azure. They both is having a virtual network in their respective subscription. Company A is having a virtual network with IP prefix 10.0.0/16. Company B is having the same virtual network, but they are having a different IP prefix. So they both will be able to create a peering between this virtual network. In case company B is using the same prefix, so here you will not be able to make any create any peering between them, because as soon as you will start to create a peering, it will give an error that your IP address ranges are being conflicted.
Okay.
One question. Is it one network like VNet? One network is 10.0.0.0/16 in Azure, and another one is on Google Cloud. There is the same like VNet 10.0.0.0/16. So how is it possible to do peering?
No. I mean to say Google, it means it's only the company, but they are using the Azure services. They are not, let's say here you are having the Google Cloud and here you are having Azure Cloud. So they both have a different configuration. They have both algorithm, the platform is different, so you will not be able to make communication between them. But both the company are using the Azure Virtual Network, Azure account, but they have a different account, different subscription, they have a different virtual network with different IP prefixes. Then it is possible within Azure. It is not out of Azure, it is not with third-party cloud provider.
Okay.
It means you have one VPC and another I have a VPC, right? So we have to communicate each other and with same CIDR, so we can communicate, right?
Same CIDR, it is not possible. You must have a unique IP address range, which I have mentioned here.
Okay.
So for peering, there is a requirement of different IP prefix, right?
Yeah, IP prefix must be unique, because your virtual network is completely isolated to other virtual network, and when you are combining this virtual network by forming any kind of connectivity, like in our case it is a peering. So how it will be it will allow to establish a peering, since both the virtual network is having the same address space. So this virtual map, if let's say we are able to successfully created peering, and this both is having 10 to 10, actually it won't allow you to create peering when you are having a 10. But let's say suppose you somehow you have created, so your virtual machines will have a same address space. So how these virtual machines will know that I have to go to this virtual network, I have to talk, because the same IP will have this virtual network. So it won't send its traffic to this peering. Traffic will not even reach to this peering. You got my point?
The simple thing, if you have a same this area, it is not possible to
Yeah, it's not
connect
possible.
every,
Yeah, it's a basic thing, it's not possible. So actually we have so many services. I will show you a load balancer. And so when you are deploying any solutions, you like all the organization must have some kind of redundancy. They have some, no, they are not having a single server. They are having a multiple server, and they want that okay, in case any of the service goes down, my traffic should get forwarded to rest of the service which are available within the Azure. So for that, Azure provides four kind of solutions with respect to load balancing. These are the four solutions which are being provided or offered by the Azure. First is load balancer, second one is application gateway, third one is traffic manager, and fourth one is Azure front door. So I'll give you an introduction about load balancer. We will not be able to perform practical over the application gateway and traffic manager because we need to configure, we need to deploy all the things. But in my account, I have already deployed the load balancer and front door. So I will show you how each and every services are differ to other. So load balancing. So when you deploy, Azure provides two kinds of load balancer. One is a basic load balancer, one is a standard load balancer. So basic load balancer is absolutely free if you want to deploy a load balancer, but it has some kind of limitation which we need to follow. That when you are planning to deploy basic load balancer, what the things you need to keep in mind when deploying the load balancer. So you will be able to see when you go to the Microsoft website, Azure load balancer. So here is a views. I'll share you the link as well over the chat. If once you have a time, you can read because there are a lot of things. Chat, I'm not able to see here. You can't see. Okay. Okay, but if you want to learn about more about the Azure services like a load balancer, application gateway, you can definitely go to the docs.microsoft.com and you will find the documents here. So load balancer, there are two types of load balancer. One is a basic load balancer, and another one is a standard load balancer. So what is the difference? So load balancer is completely free, basic load balancer, but it has some kind of limitation that let's say you want to deploy any virtual machines behind your load balancer like this. Let's say this is a virtual network. Here is a web server, subnet. Here is a two virtual machines. So let's say I have a two virtual machines and both the virtual machines is running similar applications or the URL which is accessible by external users over the public internet. Let's say you are having some kind of like a user here, right, which are accessing this application over the internet. Here is an internet cloud. This is the internet cloud. So for that, what you can do if you want to achieve a redundancy, let's say in case anything goes your application, with this virtual machines, operating system, anything can happen. Let's say this virtual machines, it's not responding. Okay, so how you can forward all this traffic to this second virtual machine? So you will have 100% availability of this virtual machine, your service. So for that, there is a 4 kind of solutions, but it depends on the scenario how we want to set up our infrastructure into Azure. Let's say I have a global client, like all the users are using my applications or using my URL across the globe. So I have to design my infrastructure accordingly, so I can have a better performance and my user will have a better performance to access my application with very fast performance. So load balancer is a kind of thing which works on layer 3 and layer 4. Layer 3 means it is a network layer load balancer and it supports until layer 4, transport layer. It doesn't support any kind of DNS load balancing, any kind of URL load balancing. It just supports the load balancing based on IP and what. So it's a
network load balancer service, right?
Correct. It's a network load balancer service. Let's say I have here 2 servers. So what I can do, I can deploy one load balancer here. So now what happens? Any traffic comes to this web application. First, it will get hit on the load balancer front end IP address. And then load balancer will forward this request to backend pool. So I have already created one load balancer here for this lab, and even I will show you. So here I have already created. I will show you how we can create. If you go to search bar, load balancer, if you type load balancer, here on the left hand side you can see there are 4 load balancing solution services are available in Azure. Which is most appropriate, which is what is the best solution for you, you can select any one of these. But in our case, we are going with the load balancer. Let's say I'll show you how we can create, what are the parameters when you creating a load balancer. So first you need to fill up in which subscription you want to deploy this load balancer. Second thing is a resource group. So I want to place this load balancer into training group. Third one is a name. So which name you want to give this load balancer. Let's say it's an external load balancer. Which region. So we need to make sure that, let's say your application server are in East US. This is the virtual network you have created in East US, and your load balancer in West US. So you will not be able to attach the resources, East US resources behind the West US load balancer. Load balancer is a zone redundant. It's a zone redundant. It can be only used within the specific zone. You cannot expand this load balancer with the other zone. I could say that, let's say you have deployed your load balancer within the East US, you will only be able to attach the resources which are in the East US. You got my point?
Yep.
Okay.
I think it is not in different regions, not zones.
Yeah, correct. So you can't span across the region.
Yeah.
This is the service within the region. It's available within the region. Okay.
And we can choose different availability zones.
Correct. So if you select, I'll show you how you can select. So let's say I have selected this in East US. Here you can see the type. So it matters. Internal and public. So public, it means that any traffic coming from the internet will directly hit on this front end, and this front end IP will have a public IP address. But if you select internal load balancer. Internal load balancer can only be deployed in specific virtual network. So here, let's say I have a web server, and if I want to deploy any load balancer, I need to specify in which subnet I want to deploy my load balancer. But when you deploy in the public load balancer, you will not have any options, because public load balancer doesn't doesn't be specific with any virtual network. And when you deploy internal load balancer, your front end IP will be internal, and that IP will not be accessible over the public internet. So you need to make sure that if your user are accessing your application over the public internet, then you need to choose a load balancer which is an external type. And if like you are having some kind of internet connectivity and you have deployed that, you want that, okay, within my organization my user only will be able to access this application, not external user. That what you can do, you can create an internal load balancer, and you should have some kind of VPN connectivity, so your user will be able to access these services over the internet via internal load balancer. Any query?